Oregon.
Sure. Like,
is anyone in the chat from Hillsborough? I'm sorry. Anyways.
Like all of Arizona.
Yeah, yes. Exactly.
In fact, we'll just rename it Arizona.
The two Canadians are like,
It's the equivalent of Quebec. You know, who goes to Quebec?
what? What?
Anyways, so why do we need to know these districts? What's going on in these?
I don't know. We're probably going to be hanging around in this town for a lot, so I'm trying to give us a better map of this town.
That's nice.
Then I recommend going.
So
to
where
the
was
poor
the?
Because the guy looked poor, and was he headed in that direction, Neil?
I mean, roughly, but he was headed in a lot of, you know.
So the little house is where it happened?
Yeah, this right here that I'm pinging now is the mayor's house. I should also put Jeremiah's house on here somewhere.
So the mayor is not in the wealthy district. He's like
no, his house
was
was in the administration.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna go south on this map toward the seaside port district from the mayor's house, and Jen can go north on this map from the trade administration district, maybe toward the less poor district, like that direction. And Arcas can go to the poor district.
The less poor but still poor district. Great, I love it.
I don't know how to spell Jeremiah, so that's gonna.
Jeremiah.
There you go. That's Jeremiah's house, and this is the mayor's house.
Exactly like that. That's how I spelled it.
Perfect.
Yeah, agreed.
Jeremiah was a bullfrog.
Was a good friend of mine.
Anyways.
Yeah. Okay.
What
so
did we find,
you
Neil?
guys,
What did we find? Tell us what we find.
You find gold.
How much gold?
0.
I'm writing out my character sheet.
Do we have a pirate ship?
No.
We find a
So
pirate ship.
you guys start asking around. Is there any particular method or means that I should be aware of, or is it just general, like, hey, have you seen a person by this description who's suspected of killing the mayor?
I go more like I don't go have you seen, I go like rumor, like, hey, like I'm spreading a rumor, kind of, you know, not like investigation. I'm like trying to be one of the people. Hey, have you guys heard about this? You know?
Okay. All right. So you start just like spreading rumors and gossip and seeing what comes back to you.
Yeah.
I
Clever. Very clever.
I play coy, like there may be a reward in it for anyone who can give me information about such a man.
Are you actually willing to offer up a reward? Or are you just pretending you're willing to offer up a reward?
Actually, I decide against that strategy once Arcas tells me his strategy, and I think it's a better strategy, so I start doing what he's doing.
Okay.
But I say something really wise about it. Like, it is said that those who spread the word that they wish to return to them are those that will indeed hear the word of said word, and indeed, that's a great strategy that we came up with together, Arcas.
I agree. Yes, we did, sister. And I like, generally, I now believe that it was our idea.
All right. So you guys are gonna.
Oh,
I mean,
also, I pray like very fervently before I go that we'll find information. Luna.
It's a fairly big sized city, or I guess it's not a fairly big city, but there's still a lot of people here, so it's going to take you a while. Okay, not Quebec. I meant Saskatchewan.
No,
no one goes there.
Okay,
right?
Okay.
The only shirt
that is very true.
The only shirt I have from Canada is Saskatchewan. It says Saskatchewan on it. My grandparents literally went to Saskatchewan and brought me back a T-shirt. So apparently my grandparents go to Saskatchewan.
I guess
it's not
Saskatchewan is more visited than some of the other provinces, though.
Yeah, maybe, but it's not like Nunavut.
Oh, so cute.
It's not that far. Cause like that's way the fuck out there, right? No one goes there. The general district's like, it's Saskatchewan. People go there, but like, who cares, right? Like, you know, the shit happens there, but no one pays any attention to it.
Okay, but has anyone seen the bearded man?
I'm going
this
in
was
this
a very
district.
important analogy. Okay,
I want to use a different technique. I want to say that I have a message for a bearded man with a scar. That's my.
Oh, that's clever.
Okay. All right. Let's
I
see
go
how
in
Arcas
this
fares.
district in the port.
I asked Arcas
Okay.
to disguise me.
I disguise her.
All right. You disguise her. You do a pretty good job. What are you disguised
I
as,
really
Emma?
appreciate when you disguise.
Yeah, what do you want to be at? And then I'll describe what I do.
Just be creative. Whatever you like.
Whatever
Nice.
you like.
Nice.
So I
Ready to
disguise
go?
her as a fille de joie. I don't know how to say that in English.
What's that?
Like a, I guess, overly sexy girl.
It's not overly sexy. You know the ladies that you can buy.
Lady of the night?
You
Yeah.
Can, is
Oh,
that
a hooker.
it? You can,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
a medieval hooker, like accepted in society or whatever.
Like a
A
courtesan?
call girl.
It's
A
like
classy hooker.
it's like you know.
Oh, a concubine.
Yeah.
Yes, that
that's
I
it.
think.
So this guy's
Exactly
like
that.
concubine.
Okay. All right. Emma,
As I'm watching her be disguised, I say, "It is said that those who need to disguise themselves may find that they have disguised their true selves and become disguised to themselves." Such it is said. And I walk away.
Well, I'm pretty sure Emma enjoys this process because Arcas is like dressing her and
Yeah.
applying makeup. It's like, well, we need to like do this with here, and like we're gonna wrap this around here, and like push these up, and you know, blah blah
Really
blah.
nice.
And Arcas is trying to make you look as attractive as he thinks you could look. So it's
But
a lot
kind
of
of
attention.
trashy. They're kind of trashy, right? They're like, no, but they're like.
yeah, like not attractive, but like just
Have
like
you guys seen Elves on Wheels? You know, like they're kind of like nice but trashy. Like anyway.
Like how you would dress to go out on like New Year's,
With,
nice
like,
but a little
like,
bit trashy.
You know, you see that they just like tied up back their clothing because they just like got out with a customer and they're like just like they're replacing their boobs kind of thing. Their hair is like all like freaking messy because
explicit.
Yeah.
Okay, so anyone,
All right.
has anyone seen the bearded man?
Gosh, patience. So, Arcas, you are looking around like, hey, did you hear about the rumor of blah, blah, blah? And everyone has heard about the death of the mayor. And as you start saying things like, hey, yeah, it was this guy. I heard he looked like this and this and this. No one else has really heard that story. And you seem to be the first one spreading it around.
Okay.
You don't get much back other than the fact that everybody in the town is talking about the mayor's death. Like, everybody's talking about it. And by the end of the day, you've been talking to the different people and you make your way back to some place that you've been slightly before, kind of in that vicinity, and you're talking to someone who's like, oh yeah, I totally heard it was this guy who had this big scar that like went all the way across his face and he had like a big white bushy beard. Like the story that you're spreading is already slightly twisted and turned and there's getting like multiple things back from it.
Okay.
But you don't have too much success on the first day of questioning.
Okay.
Emma,
I try to always realign the story when I hear it. I'm like, oh no, I heard he was more like, and I always try to put it back where it's supposed to be.
All right. Emma, where do you head?
Didn't we say I was going to the poor but not so poor district?
Cool. So you head to the less poor but still poor district. And you start... What are you doing there? What's your technique?
I was thinking I'm looking for a man with a scar and a beard, and I have a message for him.
She puts money
okay.
in between their boobs. That's her technique.
Okay. So you start asking about, like, hey, I've got a message for this man with a beard and scar, and first people you start asking are like, well, what's his name? And they start asking more specific questions to try and figure things out, but you only have a vague description.
Yeah,
Are you sure they're not like, oh, I see what you
But you come across a guy who's like, yeah, I think I know the cat you're looking for. It's a couple of silver, though, if you want me to show you.
Silver, I'm sure you laugh.
I'm like, all right. I'll give you a couple silver.
How much do you give him?
8.
8?
8?
Yeah.
All right. You give him 8 silver. He takes it, smiles, and takes you to the right down by the river. There's a little hut built on the edge of it that looks like some sort of tea house or something like that, with a deck that goes out into the river and stands over the river, where there's some patrons out there sipping tea, which now that you're in this place and you can smell it, maybe it's not tea, maybe it's some sort of like dark alcohol, or maybe it's like alcohol mixed with tea. I don't know. There's some beverages are being served, and he takes you into the place, asks you to wait somewhere, and goes over to the bartender to start asking him a few things. While he's away asking you, look around. It's an okay establishment. Yeah, you're disguised. It's an okay establishment. It's not too terribly grungy and dirty, but you still have a lot of people who are glancing at you out of the corner of their eye, and a couple of people who are very clearly like 2 guys just like, look at her, and like pointing and looking very obviously at you from a distance.
I'm kind of satisfied by this. I'm like, yeah, Adea.
Because she's already really, really hot, you know? So if we put the emphasis on it, she's like...
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But it could have taken her over the top. Like when there's a really, really hot lady.
That is definitely what I did. Definitely.
But so for example, like, let's take Charlize Theron or something, right? Naturally, completely gorgeous. But if you take her over the top, like you got crazy, like blue eyeshadow on her and too much lipstick, and like
that's for sure what I did, because I wanted her a little trashy.
Maybe she's less hot though.
Maybe,
right. But nonetheless, like you have a large enough population of the people, especially when they get crude and crass enough, and it doesn't really matter as long as she's fairly attractive. Guys are gonna gawk and point and stare and be piggish, like.
Alrighty.
Especially back in this day and age.
And be piggish.
Yeah. So while the guy's talking to the bartender, the couple of these dudes comes over and starts walking towards you. Do you have your scythe with you still?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're walking around with this like ludicrous outfit, but also a big fucking scythe, like over your shoulder. Do you have your chainmail? You can't have your chainmail on.
I'm hot lady.
Why not?
Do it.
Because you can't dress like a hooker with chainmail.
I kind of agree with that. Unless you just have the makeup on, and then you're not a hooker. You're just a poorly make-upped.
Yeah, like you can't be disguised while you're still like wearing all of your weapons and armor. You know, like that defeats the disguise.
Alright. I don't have the armor, Neal.
Alright, so they come over and they go, so what's with the big stick?
I just winked.
You have an opening right here, Emma.
I just winked, literally. I'm like, yeah, what's with the big stick?
You wanna make a little money?
Maybe later. I'm actually looking for a client.
Oh, come on, baby.
I got a client who owes me something. I gotta collect my dues.
Well,
Okay,
when you're done collecting, I got a nice hayloft that we could go snuggle in.
Alright, I'll catch up to you after I find my client who owes me money.
Oh, well, at least give me a little kiss to keep me entertained in the meantime.
I give him a kiss on the cheek.
Oh,
I'm playing along.
Roll for hotness. Roll for hotness. Who's that guy?
7.
He's really ugly.
No, that's not really. That's like.
You said.
That's the equivalent of.
10 was average, no?
The 10.5 is average. That is as ugly as a 14 is hot. You know, it's in the middle. It's like still within
ugly,
the.
You know?
It's one standard deviation away from normal.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay.
He's in the lower. He's like 30%, 35%.
Right.
It's not the worst thing, you know.
He could pull a naked man. Is that what you're saying?
He can pull a naked man. Exactly.
Okay.
That's the sort of dude that he looks like. You know, not really attractive, but not like, you know, ugly.
All right.
All right. So as you have to like kind of sit up out of your seat to give him a.
Is that a thing? I forgot about that.
Oh yeah.
That's a long story.
I forgot.
Steph, you want to explain it?
The naked man?
Yeah.
It's from I Met Your Mother. What's her face? The odd chick on it. she like gets on a date with a really average guy, and then she's never gonna like go on a second date anymore with him ever. So he knows that because she's way too hot for him. So he pulls a naked man. When she goes to the bathroom and she comes back, he's completely naked, and she's like, fuck it, and she sleeps with him. And he says that it works 2 out of 3 times. And I kind of believe it. Anyway, we have a theory on this, Jen and I, but we think that, according to Neal's standard, it could, like, whoever is pulling that naked man.
Oh. But the guy can't be too hot, or else it's cocky. And if like creepy below, it won't work either.
Yeah.
It's used for as a last resort, like when the date's not going well, you're like, I'm never gonna have a shot at this again. Yeah. And then you just do something like wildly confident and cocky, and you're like, all right, fuck it.
Yeah, Robin, that's it. When Robin is with that guy on a date. Mm.
Yeah. Gotcha. Okay. Now I'm educated. Now I remember.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, guys.
Okay, so as you go, like, you have to sit up out of your seat to give him a kiss on the cheek, and as you do so, he grabs your butt a little bit.
Wow,
they laugh. They laugh and walk away, and eventually the other guy shows up. Mm-hmm. The guy that went to talk to the bartender is like, all right. He's downstairs, and he leads you over behind the bar, lifts open a trap door, and gestures for you to go down.
I'm gonna have to come back for him. I actually have to go get my friend.
What?
I mean, you gave me the information. You did your job. I paid you.
I can't promise he'll be there later. He's downstairs right now.
That's okay. I just don't like going in alone as a lady, Sometimes he gets frisky.
He shrugs and says, whatever, it's your money. And proceeds to enter down the trapdoor and shuts it behind him. Okay, let's flip over to Adea. Adea, which district did you head to?
I talked my way through the trade and administration district. Like, first I circled the house, like, just kind of around to see if I found anybody, and then I went toward the seaside and port district.
Okay. So you spend your day asking around at these things. You come across a couple of people who were at the event, who you had already questioned before, but you didn't really recognize them. And they say, oh yeah, I think I kind of saw the guy. He was a little bit smelly. I don't know. And this time their stories seem a little bit more like they start to have a little bit more information for you this time, and you're not sure if you believe it or not, because last time you talked to them, they're like, I don't know, I didn't see anything. Now, like, yeah, he had like a scar on his face, and he had a beard, and he was like wearing purple clothes, I think, and he ran off that way. And isn't he the guy who killed the other people, like the other 2 bodies that we found? And it's like they start to say that they found the bodies, and the story's shifting a little bit.
So, but they can't describe anything distinct.
The only new information they provide is that he was wearing purple clothing, which is in like stark contrast to what Emma saw, which was him wearing brown clothing.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
So, and Arcas told me that he was going to spread that story, right?
Right.
Okay. So I just move on then. Unless they are like, I know where that guy lives or anything like that.
No. But other people seem to have confirmed who they saw. And you ask around a little bit more, and you actually come across a woman who said that she heard some cries coming from an alleyway last night. Last night. And saw a shaggy-looking man running towards the ocean.
What's a shaggy?
With
hair, lots of hair.
Have you seen? You've seen Scooby-Doo, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know the character Shaggy, the guy with the green shirt.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he looks shaggy. Like that's why they call him that. Is because he's got the long hair. He's kind of.
Okay.
Yeah. She saw this shaggy-looking dude heading towards the ocean with blood on his clothing.
Was the alleyway the same alleyway that I know Jen was in last night?
She's like, maybe, I don't. It seems to be escaping my memory right now which alleyway they were coming out of.
Cash.
I start knocking a couple of silver together in my hand. Are you sure you can't remember?
I think it's coming back to me.
I give her like 4 silver.
Yeah. It was that out of the way. She points to the one that Jen was in.
Do you did you see anything else definitive about the way the man looked?
Brown clothes, big bushy beard, blood on him, but it was dark.
And what time
I couldn't see much else.
I'm running
Just after sundown.
Okay, thank you. And I go the direction she indicates that he ran.
Okay, you proceed down the street and ask a few more questions along the way. Wow, you were so lucky today. And you run across a man and a woman who are, they look like tailors. They're out there like stitching some clothes together on their front porch, chatting aimlessly. And you walk up to them and you're like, "Hey, did you see someone coming this way last night?" And like, "Oh yeah, there was a whole bunch of commotion in the street. There was a cart got knocked over and a couple of people got pushed past. They hit their heads on the ground and were knocked unconscious. I came out to see them and just saw someone like escaping down the street, running that way in a real hurry." He says, pointing towards the ocean.
I don't waste any more time, and I say thank you, and I go the way that they pointed.
Okay. You lose the trail after that, and that, if you're looking at the map, that's about here when you got that information. So if you had run towards the ocean down, it seems down like a single street for a while.
Okay. I guess we didn't make any plans to regroup until the end of the day, so I just keep moving that direction to the Seaside Port District until like evening.
Yeah, so the rest of the day passes pretty uneventfully. You all regroup eventually at night, and
I try immediately to lead the party to the place I was at.
Okay. So you all regroup at the
house.
You all regroup at the Burrowing Mole. Concubine walks in, being like, "Hey, I think I might have a lead at this person over here."
I say, so you explained the whole thing, right, Jen? What you saw?
Yeah, I'll say I paid the guy 8 silver looking for a bearded man with a scar. Said I had a message for him. The guy led me to the tea house near the river. And then I choked when he talked about going downstairs because I felt like I would be trapped if something went wrong.
When she says by the river, does she mean by the river over here or by the river over here?
She was by the river up here.
Okay. And I saw the man running toward the river down here.
Well, that's the ocean down at the bottom.
Oh. Did people say he was running? They said he was running toward the ocean to me, right?
Right.
Okay. So then I'm like, well, that's weird because I heard from lots of people that said they saw a man matching our description running toward the ocean and like down away from that part of town last night. So I'm wondering if maybe those men were just trying to kidnap you.
Possible. I don't know. I mean, they looked pretty sexy.
When she says that, I kind of like look her up and down like this and kind of shrug a little bit and then just say, I guess we should follow up both leads, but definitely take Arcas with us this time.
The guy grabbed my ass.
I'm happy for you.
Kissed him on the cheek. It was great.
Adea just like shakes her head and walks away.
I'm like looking at Arcas, like hoping for him to look like flustered or anything, and he doesn't give a shit.
Adea mutters, "It is said that those who let their butts be grabbed shall grab butts forever. So say we all hail the gods."
When she does that, I grab her butt.
Adea like genuinely is taken aback by that. She's not usually taken aback by anything, but she's genuinely like.
Even Arcas is like, he doesn't know if he's like, like turned on or disgust. He's like conflicted. He's like, what?
What time of day is it now? Evening?
It is nighttime. It is well after dark.
Adea just goes to bed.
Not saying going to the bar? To the tea house?
Oh, well, I guess we can do that tonight, sure.
Or, yeah. Let's do that and then break.
Okay, let's go to the tea house.
Okay. You guys head back to the tea house. It is much, much later now. It's like 4 hours after the sun has set. The town is kind of ending up being pretty sleepy, but the bars are still going pretty strong. You end up at the tea house, which is now a rocking, rolling place with all sorts of people chatting and laughing and joking. And the smell of hard alcohol is strong and wafts in from when you're in the street, wafts out from the bar.
I took back my gear. I have my gear right now.
Okay. Jen, are you still in your disguise?
No.
I say,
Okay.
Emma, can you identify the man who showed you the way last time and have him show us again?
Maybe. I look through the people to see if we find a guy.
He is no longer. Well, he's not visible anywhere.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it was downstairs, so if any of you guys have a reason or an idea on how we can get downstairs, there's a trapdoor
Why don't we just try going there?
behind the wall, behind the bar.
Why don't we just go?
I guess so. Let's just look confident and do it.
Okay. We try just looking like we know where we're going and going down the trapdoor.
Okay. The bartender gives you like a look as you go down, but he doesn't stop you.
Oh, he doesn't stop us? Okay.
Yeah, that's what happened.
No. It's kind of like a fuck it. That is not worth my time to get involved.
Okay.
I did that at MLG once.
What do you mean?
I
You just look
literally
confident?
Yeah, I looked confident and went backstage. Nobody stopped me. Had nothing to go in.
Confidence works sometimes.
Yep. So you head downstairs. It is dark. The only light comes from a couple of lanterns on either end of the wall. The downstairs area is 20 feet wide, 20 feet long, 10 feet wide, and there are a couple of tables set up with people playing card games. But it's time for our break, so we will come back to the gambling den in a few minutes.
Yay. All right.
Okay.
See ya, guys. Break time.
Bye.